All right, everybody, grab your popcorn. The Flash is out. Finally, let's talk about it. The Flash, directed by Andy Muschietti and starring Ezra Miller, Michael Keaton, Sasha Calle, and others, is a good movie, but ultimately, it's underwhelming, and it does not achieve what it set out to achieve. It accomplished a lot, and I think it was a good movie, but there was a better movie somewhere packed in there behind all the CGI cameos and the lack of intensity and lack of heart to drive the film home. Today we're talking about a popcorn classic, that Orville theater butter, just something classic. We'll get into the popcorn review towards the end of the video, but for now, let's talk about The Flash. Again, an underwhelming film, but one that I did enjoy for the most part. It just didn't reach the pillar of excellence that it was striving for, that Tom Cruise said it would, that Stephen King said that it would. Is this one of the greatest comic book movies of all time, as James Gunn described it? No, absolutely not. Do I still have hope for the future of the DC Universe? Yes, I do. This film did a good job of resetting the universe. However, it left a trail of questions, of just a mess behind on its way to rebooting the DCU. Now, the Flashpoint Paradox is what this movie is based on, and I love that comic. I think that it's super interesting. It does have great heart to it, and they tried to adapt it here, but they adapted it in an interesting fashion. Now, I don't think they necessarily did the comic book complete justice. They put a new spin on it. It does have the same end result of being a reboot story. However, I think it did it in a much messier fashion. One of the highlights of this film, of course, Michael Keaton returning as Batman, and I gotta say, he was pretty awesome. I think that he kicked ass. I loved the direction of the action scenes. He looked like true Batman. Some of the moves that he was putting out there on the screen reminded me of the Batman Arkham games, so I gotta give credit to Andy Muschietti there. And I will say, those action scenes with Batman do give me hope, as Andy Muschietti is now confirmed to be the director for Batman, the Brave and the Bold. So I have a little bit of excitement and a little bit of hope for that movie now, but I will say, I think that Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne here was a really underdeveloped character. Now, this is years after Batman 1989. He's retired. He comes out of retirement to help the Flash. And I liked the action scenes, and I liked the idea of bringing Michael Keaton back, but his Bruce Wayne scenes were not developed enough in the way that there was something more there to explore, and they didn't explore it enough. He decides that he's not going to help the Flash, then he instantly decides that he will help the Flash, and it felt rushed. It didn't feel like he really meditated on that decision. He kind of made it on a whim. Where this film thrives for me is when it focuses on Barry Allen's relationship with his mother. And I will have to say, despite all the controversy surrounding Ezra Miller, they did an excellent job in this film. I really liked their performance. I thought that it was the best part of the movie. And I will say that Prime Barry was much more tolerable than the alternate version of Barry. But Ezra Miller does an excellent job of playing both of those roles and kind of showing the differences between the more mature Prime Barry and the flashback Barry. I liked the chemistry that he had with himself, and I thought that it was a really entertaining aspect of the movie. But again, where this movie hits home, where this movie succeeds, is when Ezra Miller is diving into his more personal, vulnerable state, talking about his mother, having the interesting scenes where he's facing his mother all these years later, his deceased mother. I liked that part of the story, and I thought that's when Ezra Miller's performance really shined through. Another standout performance from this movie is Sasha Calle as Supergirl. Now, I don't think that I'm as in love with the performance as a lot of fans are, but I did enjoy it, and I do think that there is something more to explore with her character. Now, of course, they're doing another Supergirl movie down the road. She has met with Peter Safran and James Gunn about potentially continuing the role as Supergirl, and I don't think she should necessarily have it immediately, but she should definitely be in the running. I liked what she brought to the character, but again, all of these side characters felt very hollow in this film, and that's my main gripe with it. They tried their best to develop all of these characters with their own storylines and cross them all over, and they didn't really succeed for me. I didn't feel as emotionally invested in Michael Keaton's Batman as I wanted to be, and neither did I feel that way about Sasha Calle's Supergirl. And ultimately, I felt that way about Barry because he's the main character, but I still felt like there was more to explore with his character and more emotion to attach to him. Of course, one of the main talking points of this film is the cameos. So I'll say some of them worked for me, but a lot of them just didn't work for me. Those cameos in the Chrono Bowl sequences, well, let's talk about the CGI because they looked like PlayStation 2 characters. That was bad. And I understand director Andy Muschietti said that it was a stylistic choice. He wanted it to look like a warped perspective of the Flash in the Speed Force. It didn't work for me. That was a bad stylistic choice in my eyes. He said it was a stylistic choice. That was bad style because that did not look good by any means. Some of the cameos, again, I liked. I thought that they were cool, exciting, but for the most part, they were very unnecessary. It was just, here's this guy that you might have liked in another movie, and now he's gone. And it didn't really serve anything to the story. I guess it was just a way of showing the ramifications of the Flashpoint paradox that unfolded, but overall, they were pretty unnecessary, very hollow, like a lot of things in this movie. And again, they looked cheap, rushed, thrown together last minute, which is bewildering to me considering how long this movie has been in development. The movie's ending also underwhelmed me and felt a little anticlimactic. Again, I like this movie. It felt like a fun ride. The humor was good, and there was a few good laughs for me in this film. But overall, the heart of the story didn't get explored enough. The relationship between Barry and his mother. That was the heart of it. That was what I cared about, what I thought was the most emotionally and thought-provoking. However, they didn't focus on that enough, so it gave the film an overall anticlimactic and underwhelming experience for me. Again, the ending, the twist villain, that felt resolved in a flash, no pun intended, all pun intended, F it, but that felt resolved far too quickly. The film's antagonist is teased throughout the film, then he appears, and then he's defeated. That's pretty much how it feels. The final battle felt rushed. I thought some aspects of it were cool. Some of the action scenes were very cool. I really like all the Batman action scenes. I thought that some of the ways that they had Barry and Barry fighting together, that was really exciting, really unique, and something that I really enjoyed in the film. But overall, the way that they rushed the ending to a conclusion, I didn't enjoy. I thought there could have been more there. The multiverse logic does not make all that much sense. When you watch some of the other multiversal films that have come out in recent years, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Into and Across the Spider-Verse, those films really understand how to make the multiverse make sense to the average viewer. This film didn't make sense to the average viewer. No spaghetti analogy is going to clear it up, okay? I didn't think that they did a good enough job explaining why things were the way that they were in the multiverse and what each action's consequences came to be. Overall, I like the movie. It's good. I didn't think the humor took away from the intensity of it too much, but overall, a funny movie, a fun time, a Flash movie that doesn't reach the heights that it wanted to, but overall, a good time. I think there's too much hate surrounding this film. It's not perfect by any means, but it's good. I'm gonna give it a 7.2. But let's go ahead and rip into this Orville popcorn and see what I'm rating that. First video on the channel, classic popcorn. Had to go with the Orville. You all know it. You all love it. I got the movie theater butter popcorn. I'm tearing through it right now because I haven't had lunch and I'm starving. But overall, it's not my favorite. It's okay. I think that the Orville is your classic, late night movie at home. You throw it in the microwave and you have a bag. It's a 7.6 for me. It's good, but it doesn't knock my socks off. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on The Flash, directed by Andy Muschietti, starring Ezra Miller, Michael Keaton, Sasha Calle, and everybody else. Those are also my thoughts on Orville, theater butter popcorn. I like them both. I think they both could have been better. I think that The Flash was a good movie, not a great movie, lots of room for improvement, little underwhelming, but overall, mostly satisfying. And those are my similar thoughts to this Orville popcorn. Good, not great. But let me know your thoughts down below on the movie in the comment section and what movie and what popcorns you want to see me review next. Next up on the channel, Flamin' Hot, the local theater near me. I'm about to be a degenerate. Go over there, get some popcorn and leave. Not see a movie, just get some popcorn and leave because they have Cheeto flavored popcorn. So I will be taking that home and then streaming Flamin' Hot and giving you my review on the popcorn and the movie in the next episode of Grab Your Popcorn. So grab your popcorn, follow me on Twitter, talk to me on Twitter, talk to me in the comment section, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, all of that fun stuff, plenty more movie, TV, comic book reviews coming your way right here on Grab Your Popcorn. So make like the Flash, go smash that subscribe button, and I will catch you all in the next one.